Welcome back to a new episode of the Stormwater World podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Bloxam & Company. Bloxam manufactures a sediment and erosion control stormwater inlet filter made from coconut fiber that is designed to be simple to install and easy to maintain. The filter is available in pads and rolls, making it easy to customize for a wide range of stormwater inlets. Because it sits over the inlet, sediment buildup is easy to see at a glance, so crews can quickly assess performance without looking down into the structure. Bloxam also offers free samples. To learn more, visit bloxam.com or call 1-800-745-1408.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Stormwater World podcast. I'm your guest host for this episode, Mariella Begley-Garman, and with me today are Christina Osborn and Kellyn Campbell. So welcome to the show, ladies. I'm so excited to have y'all here. So today we're going to be talking about Women of Water and where we are, how it got started, and where we're going in the future. So I'm going to start with a couple introductions. So Christina Osborn is a project manager for JUB Engineers in Salt Lake City, where she's focused on water, wastewater, reclaimed water planning, design, and construction. Christina has worked for JUB for more than 19 years. Prior to joining JUB, she served in the Peace Corps, where she spent 17 months in the Dominican Republic designing and constructing a drinking water system, latrines, and hygiene education campaign. Christina is a registered professional engineer in the state of Utah and has an undergraduate and graduate degrees in civil and environmental engineering from Seattle University and the University of Colorado at Boulder. She lives in Salt Lake City, but is originally from Minnesota. She's the founder of Women of Water, and she's also active in AWWA, IMS, WEF, and WEAU. Christina, welcome to the show. Is there anything that I missed or you want to add?
That sounds great, Mariella. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Excited to talk about Women of Water this morning.
Very cool. We're excited to talk with you. And next we have Kellyn Campbell. Kellyn Campbell, CPESC, is president of Campbell Environmental Supply and Consulting in Spartanburg, South Carolina. With 18 years in stormwater and erosion and the sediment control industry, Kellyn specializes in helping manufacturers and project teams turn real-world field challenges into practical compliance solutions. She began her career at Geo Hay, where she rose from sales and marketing to president, and later founded her own consulting firm to support industry manufacturers. Kellyn is a longtime leader within the IECA, the International Erosion Control Association, serving as the IECA International Board of Directors since 2022, and currently is the Vice President of Young Professionals. She also helps grow Women of Water, expanding mentorship and leadership opportunities for women across the water sector. Hi, Kellyn. Welcome.
Hi, Marielle. I'm excited to be here.
And as guest host, I'm going to do a short intro for myself. My name is Mariella Begley-Garman. I am a licensed professional engineer in Texas and Louisiana, and co-founder with my husband of Digital Stormwater, which is a digital marketing firm in the stormwater industry that we started in 2019. We both have a background in history in stormwater and understood the industry and understood marketing. And so our position is that we want to help manufacturers and service providers have a larger digital presence, because it doesn't matter if you have the absolute best product out there. If nobody knows it exists, nobody's going to specify it. So welcome to all of us to the Stormwater World podcast today.
Great.
So, Christina, I want to start with you. So I think you and Kellyn kind of had like parallel paths with the Women of Water idea, and then y'all found each other. So you actually established an organization?
Yeah, so back starting in 2012 is when I originally founded Women of Water. I had a few experiences, maybe you all had the same, where, some not so positive situations occurring within my job, my career. And they were really like because I was a female, or I kind of felt that way. And just talking to others, women, they also had that same kind of situation occur. And I thought, gosh, rather than really dwell and be frustrated on this, like I want to create an organization that really brings together women and encourages women. So that's kind of how the impetus behind Women of Water and how it got started back in 2012 with, bringing together a large group of women here in Utah and asking, what do people want to see? What do they need? How can we better support you? Because it feels like we're not getting some great support here. So pretty exciting. From there, put together and launched the 501c3 or wrote that and got that status. So it became an official nonprofit. And then we've just been going strong ever since. The board has changed over the years. We do lots of different programming and activities, but that was kind of the impetus and how it got started originally.
And I love that you looked at it and said, there's some negative stuff going on, but I don't want to dwell on the negative. I want to provide a positive place for for women to get support.
Yeah, exactly. Our kind of the founding sort of principles around it are the 3 E's: to educate, empower, and engage. And so kind of with that has been sort of our strategic sort of vision for moving forward and how do we carry out those things. And that just felt, like you said, a lot more positive to focus on that. How can we empower women? How can we engage them and get them involved? And how can we educate them?
Awesome. So, Kellyn, like I said, y'all kind of had a parallel path. So you started this Women of Water, Women in Water, and I think it's changed a little bit over the years through IECA. You want to talk about how that got started and then how you and Christina connected?
Well, so technically I didn't start this, but a very good friend and mentor of mine within the industry, especially within IECA, Beth Chesson McLaughlin, was approached by several of us women at an IECA conference, I think in 2015 in Portland. And, it's that exact conversation that Christina's having. There's all these negative things that happen to women in this industry, and we just didn't feel supported. And Beth was very against it in the beginning until we were like, no, this is not going to be, the typical man bashing, all the negative, complaining, all the things. No, this is going to be a place where we can come together and engage with each other and be very supportive. We are not the she woman man hater club. Right. Exactly that. And I think 2 years into it, I think in Atlanta in 2017, she kind of looked at me and said, I think I want you to run this now. Like I kind of need to step back and let the next generation go with it. So I love to use the word, I was voluntold that this is now, my thing, which has turned out to be really amazing. But yeah, we had the conversation after IECA, and we were like, you know what? It's not just IECA, right? Like there are women in this industry that don't get to show up to these association meetings. And, there's women in water resource and stormwater and wastewater and all of these things that are having the exact same experiences as we are. So why don't we go out and create our own association? Well, in that research, I found Christina. And I was like, oh, wait, this already exists. Great. So I emailed Christina and I was like, hey, how do you feel about maybe taking what you do in Utah National? And that started in, I believe, either 2020 or 2019. We've been going at it ever since. So
cool. So Christina has the organization established in Utah. It's going. It's got regular events. When I was doing my research and I went and I looked at the website, I was actually a little bit surprised to see what all is going on, which is awesome. So let's talk about growing the organization, combining your efforts together, and what's the plan to bring this to a national organization?
Yeah, and if you don't mind me stepping back just a second,
absolutely.
I want to talk about kind of like, what does it look like? How is this different than other organizations? So there's IECA that you all are involved with. I'm heavily involved with WEF and AWWA, which tend to have a lot of conferences. And those are great platforms to network, right? Great opportunities. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to really differentiate ourselves. Like, what did women want? Like, how can we help support you? And so we intentionally chose to be separate from those other organizations and to meet monthly. So having monthly activities, both educational and then opportunities to network. So that looks like career panels that might be virtual, or a tour of a local brewery, or, a tour of a water or wastewater treatment facility or a stormwater treatment facility. And a lot on professional development we've had over the years, talking about, how to navigate your career, how to negotiate, things like that. So we've had a huge wide variety of lunches and speakers over the years, and it's just been a cool opportunity. So then now we've kind of got this local Utah chapter and this framework here. And then now it's, how can we take this national and get people excited about it in other places? Because it feels like this is, like Kellyn was saying, it's not just speaking to women here in Utah. This idea of empowering and kind of creating a network opportunity for women, and also exists in other places in the U.S. So we've been working on this for quite some time, just as volunteers. It sometimes takes a wee bit of effort to continue the momentum. So we've been working in concert with the Utah Women of Water Board to carry this forward. So that really looks like a framework. So a set of documents that a group of women anywhere else in the country could take these and kind of start that process, but then still have this Utah chapter to look at, to like, hey, what should I be doing? Or maybe I want to tag team on some virtual events, something like that.
I love that. And so, we don't have Women of Water where I live here in Southeast Texas, and I'm based out of Orange, Texas, if I didn't mention that. But I have a group of friends who are women engineers, and we've all either worked together or crossed paths during our careers, and we haven't done it in the last few years after COVID and some stuff happened. But we used to get together, like we try to get together about once a quarter, and there was less than 10 of us, and we just hang out and support each other. So I love the idea of a more defined organization to do that.
Yeah, and it really allows one to, Kellyn, you brought up this earlier, of passing the torch, right? Kind of just continuing that momentum of like, hey, I had my network of women in the industry too. But then now it's like being able to pass the baton and just make sure that women continue to feel supported as they start their careers. And, thankfully, at least here in Utah, like there are a lot more women in the industry and the company that I work for, which has been really exciting.
So I'm going to shift. I'm going to let Kellyn answer this question also, but I want to shift and get her perspective on. We had a Women of Water event at the IECA conference earlier this week, and I thought there were some really good discussions where Kellyn asked people to share their why, and discussions talking about how the industry has changed for us those of us who have a little bit longer career. And when we started out, and it was almost, if there was another woman there, there would probably only be one, and it was almost adversarial because it didn't feel like there was room for both of you moving into this, supporting each other. So, Kellyn, what were your thoughts on that discussion?
I mean, it's exactly what I said on Monday at the event. It was, 2008 when I first came to my first IECA, and I felt like it was an extremely male-dominated field, and that frustrated me quite a bit. I won't lie. It was one of those things where you just you feel kind of not stuck, but you feel like you have to blend in, right? Like you're kind of stuck in that, like, okay, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to be too aggressive. I don't want to be too assertive, these kinds of things. But now, as I went to conference this week, that entire tide has shifted. And I don't feel like it's such a 1 to maybe 7 or 8 ratio. I feel like it's a lot more, almost 50-50, not quite, but pretty close. And I would have
a lot closer.
Yeah, I would have loved a space like this when I was first coming out of college and first coming into stormwater and erosion control. And that I think is why when we had the event on Monday and there was such a number of young professionals and what we like to call our university partners who are students who come to the association meetings to learn and show off their research and do these kinds of things. It's important to me because that's kind of become my why, right? Watching several of the university partners now become young professionals in the association and speak and bring their students and these kinds of things. It's such a energizing moment for me to know that the women that are coming up behind us don't have to go through that moment of I'm the only women in this industry, right? And it's exactly that. It's not that adversarial, there's not enough space for both of us in this room. One of us is going to have to get out of here. But to have that camaraderie and be like, all right, let's go. Let's be I love, I think her name is Erin Gallagher. She has this book out right now called Hype Women, right? I don't have to be your competition, but I certainly can most definitely lift you up and edify you in your purpose and your causes. So let's go, right? Let's do the things.
You said that's called Hype Women?
Yes. And I'm hoping for the first actual book club we host going national, Christina, it's our first book. So I think it'd be amazing.
Sounds good. Yeah. I think that's
awesome.
It's lifting women up, right? Having the opportunity to lift others up.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna shift back a little bit to and I lost my train of thought. My apologies. But shift back a little bit. So as you're planning moving the organization nationally, we heard Christina talk about what else going on. So I wanted to get your perspective on that, Kellyn, on how things are progressing and what steps are going on, and then move into what steps are next.
So it is exactly what Christina talked about. We are building that framework so that, people on, each side of each coast and Northwest, East, South, wherever, and even hopefully, we had several women from the Australasia chapter of IECA at the event on Monday. They can take what we're doing over there, right? That's the whole purpose, I think, behind the framework that we're working on. But it's also, again, to bring in that next generation of women to engage with them, to empower them to do what's necessary to make sure that they're, doing all the great and wonderful things that they're intended to do in this industry, because we can only get better from here, right?
Right.
So that for me is the okay, kids, let's go. And I think Christina can sympathize with my I have wanted this for so long, and we're finally getting to that point, and I'm like, thank you. But yes, so I think there could definitely be a lot of strong women who will come along beside us and help grow this association, even if I have to like tell them myself, right? Like, you're coming, let's go.
So as we're growing this organization, the actual nuts and bolts of this, bringing it national. So creating a national organization, and then are there going to be state chapters and inside this, or is it going to be like a regional plan, and then break down inside of that to smaller local areas, or what is the vision there?
It really is up to kind of people's interest in kind of, as I mean, we were talking about here in Utah, our chapter really mainly is comprised of women who are along the Wasatch Front, so within the Salt Lake Valley. And like, well, it probably makes a lot of sense if there was interest for people to start another chapter down in southern Utah around St. George, where there's quite a bit of population growth. So I think it's really kind of regional based. Right now where we've got the one chapter, and we do have events that are virtual from time to time, not every month. And, that can include everyone as the other chapters kind of get their footing. But no, there is no forced, like it has to be by state. It's, kind of based on regional areas and where it makes sense. I did want to offer too, just as we were talking about the why, and Kellyn was talking a lot about young professionals. And I mean, this can be such a great opportunity for someone, a leadership opportunity for someone. Like when I started this, it was early in my career, and it was, my focus was on, building up and creating more positive experience for women across the industry. But it also created a really great leadership opportunity, to start the organization, and same thing here for these, younger women coming up in the organization, a great opportunity to meet other people. If they're feeling like not as confident about maybe their skills and experience at this point in their career, like, hey, if you guys it under the umbrella of like, I'm trying to, create this network for everyone within our region of, an opportunity to empower others. So.
Right. That's awesome. It is a great potential resource for finding mentors, whether structured or informal mentors, and being able to connect with that younger generation as they come up through the industries. I had another thought, and it's just like, but I was paying attention, and now that thought is gone.
How's everybody, Mariana?
Oh, I know what it was. One of the things that I appreciated was, even though Women of Water is kind of separate from like IECA or any of the other industry conferences, AWWA, WEF, having the ability to have that meeting at the other conference to pull the women of the industry together to talk. I think my personal experience, having been a member of the Society of Women Engineers, is they have their own conference, and it's a big organization. But if you don't go to their conference, and the local chapters are more in the larger cities. I guess we didn't really have a big following where I live. And so unless you actually went to the big national conference, you didn't get a whole lot out of that. And so I loved having the meeting at the conference, even though it wasn't a Women of Water conference. You have a Women of Water meeting and have that opportunity to network and talk and mentor.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to partner with other organizations and, with these other conferences happening. And there's been different experiences of support here locally in Utah. The chapter usually does an event every year at the WEF affiliate WEAU. Their conference, they usually do like a happy hour. and that's been fun. And at this point, there's like a lot of competition of like who's going to sponsor it, you know, kind of different
cool.
companies vying for who will pay for it, which is like, wow, that's kind of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's sometimes really hard to get. So if you have people competing to sponsor your event, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to your point, Mariella, like it was always my, you know, when I first found Christina, it was we all work in water, right? We all work in this wonderful natural resource, and we're all working to protect it, whether that is wastewater, water reclamation, water resource, stormwater, erosion control. We're all working in that same dynamic of the environment. And, you know, that brings with it, you know, certain differentiations of how we handle challenges and these kinds of things. But we're all still women. We're all still working towards the same goal. So, you know, I didn't just want it to be sediment, erosion control, and stormwater. I'm like, wait a minute, there are so many other women in these other industries that do the exact same thing I do and care about the environment. So let's team up. Let's do
absolutely.
We have only mentioned men in the sense that we were initially that was our frustration. But I wanted to know, because I've gotten a little feedback over the years of like, oh, is this like the men hater thing? And like, no, not at all. We don't have any men on the board, and I don't think ever have, but not opposed. There is nothing in the bylaws that says they can't be a part of it. And we usually have quite a few men at our events, particularly if it's a brewery tour. You know, all of our events have been open to everyone. Our logo is, it has sort of this inherent W in it. I mean, you can also look at the other way and see an M. So it's, you know, very inclusive. It's not trying to be exclusionary, because we need everyone to support and help empower women. And that's not just women, it's also men. So I wanted to share that kind of thought as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's important we live in a world, and you want to have a safe space where you can empower each other. But we also live in a world with, I mean, we don't live on an island by ourselves as women. We live with men, and we work with men. And part of what we have to do is figure out the best way to have those relationships and sustain those relationships and address any barriers that do come up without them being adversarial. And you have to be able to talk to each other to do that. Men and women working together, talking together, communicating and figuring things out.
We actually do have a very particular gentleman who shows up to all of our Women of Water events at the IECA, Jonathan Kepke. And he, for the last several years, has worn a shirt that says husband, dad, feminist. And I'm like, And he, you know, when he first showed up to one of our meetings, I think it was in Long Beach, he was like, I want to help. What can I do? How can I be an ally? What do you need? Right. And he's been such a huge support of us. And I would love to find more male allies. I know Ty is definitely one. So I really appreciate all those men who are coming along beside us. Like, hey, what can I do? How can I help? How can I outreach to my female colleagues and my network to share it off?
And to take the organization national, he has been a big supporter in connecting us with some attorneys. At one point, we were trying to trademark the name, and unfortunately that didn't work out because there are too many Women of Water wows. But he was a big supporter and that was, although it didn't work out, wonderful to have that.
Yeah. So the other thing that I was going to say about that is it's important to have mentors inside of our profession. So very powerful mentors to me when I was a young engineer. I joined a small engineering firm, and the 4 partners who owned it were all men. And they told me very specifically, we expect you to be a member of the professional organizations and not just be a member whose name is on the roster, but to be an active participant. And I think it's important to have those people, those bosses who are willing to support and mentor us as we grow in our career, that want us to be out there and learn leadership and have connections, not just within the company we work for, but within the organizations that support it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And some of those organizations can feel a little bit intimidating when you first start and they're so male dominated. I mean, Kellyn, you were kind of speaking to this earlier, and that's sort of the beauty behind Women of Water is it's, just another kind of safe space to network with women in your industry.
Yeah. And I think I'm a little bit older than both of you. So I graduated from college in '97 and entered the workforce as a civil engineer. And there weren't a lot of us out there. There were not a lot of women in Southeast Texas, Southwest Louisiana, where I started my career. So having support from strong male supervisors was really important.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is, I won't say unfortunately, but it is what it is as it presents itself presently, right? But, when I first started on the International Board of Directors, I was the only woman on that board. And now there's me and another amazing woman named Nancy. But as I look around the association now, the IECA, I see a lot more women who are chapter presidents or committee chairs or serving on committees, chapter boards. And that is exactly what I'm with Christina on is, if you give them a safe space to be a leader, they'll not only be a leader for us as the Women of Water, but they'll go after their own professional associations and be like, okay, I can do this. Let's go. Like,
absolutely.
I found my lovely little bit of confidence here, and I can go take this somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. We've had quite a few kind of testimonials within Women of Water Utah of women who just felt kind of a lot of frustration with their career. I'm the only woman. It's just hard, not really enjoying where they were. And I mean, we created this networking environment and they just kind of felt more really empowered. And I've heard a few of those stories and like they were ready to leave. And then just kind of with this opportunity to meet other women and have these kind of monthly check-ins and talks. And, they ended up getting positions elsewhere within the industry and are flourishing. So it's really, like you said, Kellyn, it's been really exciting to see how when you empower and give someone opportunities or just a supportive environment, how they can really thrive and flourish.
So what do you see? What's next? or do we not have what's? I mean, obviously we're setting up the national. Do you have some people you're talking to in different areas about setting up chapters? I think I saw something about membership applications and that kind of thing as well.
Yes. So we have on the Women of Water website, because that's sort of, they're the main focus. And so we're certainly our national organizing committee is working closely in conjunction with them. And half of our organizing committee is on the Utah Women of Water board. I'm no longer serving in any kind of leadership capacity within that board and passed the torch, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago, which was exciting to have it continue. Yeah. So we are, Kellyn and I would say, are at the stage of drumming up support and interest. And, the Utah board is we felt like still we need their approval to kind of move forward with our documents, but we have that all on the website. And so it's really just at this point, reach out to us if you want to start a chapter, and we will help get you going and encourage you. And that's kind of, we're kind of at that initial, like, okay, we're ready to go. We just need some people who are interested and want to, like Kellyn, move forward and organize and collect a bunch of women under this Women of Water umbrella.
So they go to the Women of Water website, which we will link in the show notes. There's a link on there where if they want to start a chapter that they can click on.
Yep.
Give me just a second because I have it up on my other screen. So I'm going to look at it. So click on joining information, video call link. Oh, that's for your upcoming event. Sorry.
I think it's still a little bit in progress because I'm seeing if you click on chapters, it doesn't
take you anywhere.
It's a little bit in progress, but you can certainly, if you're comfortable sharing my email, I'm fine with that. Or Kellyn, I don't know if you'd say the same, but
I agree. Yeah.
Reach out to us and we can help navigate and walk you through the process as it kind of continues to unfold.
Right. And I mean, we won't limit anybody to say, hey, I don't necessarily, it's exactly what you said. You live in a fairly less populated area. So if you want to just join the National Association, we can allow that. It's always been my vision for this to become a place where women can come experience the 3 E's: education, empowerment, and engagement. I've always loved that, Christina. And, maybe that becomes, you find those longer term mentors, or you find a shorter term one that's like, hey, I'm having this problem. I've understood from this career panel or this discussion that we've had in virtual events, I'd love to sit down and talk with you. It's those kinds of networking and engagement opportunities that I foresee happening, that I would love to continue that. So, it's not just about forming local chapters. It's about embracing all the women across the country, regardless of where they live.
Absolutely. So having the local group you can talk to, having national people you can reach out to, and building the network, getting to know each other and support each other.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Great. Is there any other thing that I missed that y'all wanted to talk about?
I can't think of anything. Top of my head.
Any closing thoughts? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think we've kind of covered the majority of it. We have had some national events from time to time, like virtual things over the years. And I think it's just kind of keeping the conversation and momentum going. But excited about this kind of opportunity and interest, and just this concept of replicating this elsewhere in the country.
Yeah. I think it's an awesome concept, and I'm excited to see it develop. All right. Well, if y'all don't have any other closing thoughts, I thank you both for coming on today. I've really enjoyed talking with you, and can't wait to see the future of Women in Water and what all develops over the next few years.
Sounds good. Thank you for the opportunity, Marielle.
Yeah, thanks, Marielle. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsor, Bloxam. Bloxam offers a coconut fiber stormwater inlet filter designed for simple installation, easy maintenance, and clear visual performance on site. The product is available in pads and rolls and can be customized for a variety of inlets. Learn more at bloxam.com or call 219-363-0206 or 1-800-745-1408. We'll see you on the next episode.